Hey everybody, how's it going? Saturday night in the shop. Not a lot going on. Now it's September, so we're gonna get ready for gas lines. Could be outdoor kitchens, maybe some pool heaters, generators. It's fall time. Gas lines just come in now, so it'll be for all kinds of different stuff. So I'm gonna show you some old school stuff. First of all, we're gonna trim this 1-inch pipe up. So normal, big rigid black iron cutter. Trim this piece off. Today we're going to use an old school threader. It's a ridgid R65. I'm not sure when it's really from. I think they started making pipe threading equipment in about 1948. That was some power things. I think they were around a little bit before that, so I'm not exactly sure when this tool will be from, but just because the model number in it's an A, I'm assuming it's an early model. It's definitely a really cool old tool. I got it from a guy that I got the reed pipe vise from. I've done a review on that and I really like it. So it's old school. This is probably, the vise is probably from the 50s. I don't think, maybe the 60s, who knows. So this here, it's probably, oh, it's at least 50 pounds, easy. It does from 1 inch all the way up to 2 inch. So it does all the fractional sizes in between. It's ratcheting and it's rigid. The number 65R. It's a cool old thing. So we start off, this is how you look at it. The dies are set in on the numbers. When you replace the dies, each die has to go in the specific spot that it's designed for, or else it won't work. I got this as a basket case and I had to figure it out. I've pretty much got it. There's a few times when all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, what am I into now? But what have I done? It all ratchets. It's got lots of moving parts and it's probably from the late 50s, mid 50s. So it's really neat. So I've already prepared my pipe. I've cut it. We're gonna put this on. I always ream it. This is just an example. It's not for gas, so you don't need to see me ream it, but we're gonna assume I did. So this goes on this way. This also has different sizes for these teeth. That matters. They're set to 1 inch. We're gonna put it on, put it right up to the jaws, and now I'm gonna twist this grub screw to hold the back part of the 65R. So crank that grub screw good and tight. It's a 1/4 inch shaft, so it's not gonna bend. Okay, so I like that. I think I like where we're on. You know what, maybe back her off just a wee bit. I'm in reverse, so we're gonna back it off. Cool, I like that there. So let's see, hopefully I don't go too far here. Let's see. No, we won't. So on the back of the flange, the ratchets, there's this lever. It's got the open and closed. You always put it onto the pipe open, and then we close the jaws, which just snugs up the dies onto the pipe. So now I'm tight, and once I can get it to start threading, it's just gonna pull itself on. This is when men were men, and this definitely separated the men from the boys. So we're gonna turn it, and it is, since this is locked on, the back portion, this part is internally threaded, and the ratchet head is pulling in. So this isn't like a power threader where I have to hold it. All I have to do is have the power to ratchet it, and it will pull in. There we go. So it's still pretty easy. There's becoming some tension. This is the way. This was a big way that pipe was threaded, and a lot of guys did this all day, days on end. This would be used for a lot of stuff. Definitely in our area, a lot of boiler systems in the old days. Old days, I mean 40s, 50s, 60s. They were still running big cast boilers in basements and lots of lots of iron pipe up and down different old buildings. Nowadays, it's pretty much just gas pipe. And to see a guy run a tool like this, you're not going to see it in your backyard. It's just not going to happen. Most guys now would have no idea how to set this up. I like old mechanical stuff, so I'm into it. Anyways, let's put a little oil on those teeth. They're actually called dies, not teeth, but whatever. So now we'll pull it up, and this is a good stand. So you just ratchet it down, just push down, pull it up, ratchet it down. Smart people that understand leverage will stand at the end of the handle and push down. It's much easier, just it's plain physics. A little more oil. Oh, grub screw's slipping a bit, so we'll tighten that up. There we go. Time for a beer break. Great Lakes Brewery, Canuck Pale Ale. Nice and cold. Just a night in the shop, so we're gonna have a cold one while we do this. That's pretty good. So right now I've got about 6 threads onto that pipe. Here in Ontario, we want to see 11. That's gas code. It's not too hard. I mean, it definitely separates the men from the boys. You got to eat your Wheaties in the morning. But I'm not that big of a guy, and I'm not really having any trouble with this. See some young guys try this, and you just tell them you got to put some oomph into it. You're going to sweat. It's not too bad, though. Perfect. So let's get this around so you can see it. So I'm a little bit out of breath, but whatever. Here's my lever. So when I flip this lever, that's going to bring the teeth out, and it's going to flip the ratchet. So I'll double downtown and reverse it. Here we go. Now I just hold the front and I'm backing off. So I'm cleaning the threads as I go. All the oil's kind of still on there, and I'm just backing it off. So I'm not cutting grooves, we're good. Let's see how we did. Whoops. Main part's done. I'm done pouring oil, and there's no filings really falling out, so we're okay. Let it hang. We'll undo our grub screw. One, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm like 10 and a half. I'm 11 on the far side and 10 and a half on the short side. That's a good thread in my book. It's perfect. It's warm. I heated up that metal. It's nice and warm, but boy, it's perfect. When you take your time and do it by hand, it goes good. You see guys with a machine and they just burn it through, maybe 1 or 2 oils. They don't cut very good threads. That looks really good. Again, that's the Ridgid R65. It's the ratcheting 65. I don't think 65 means the year. Like I said, it does from 1 inch all the way up to 2 inch. 1 1/4 inch, 1.5 inches, 1 3/4, 2 inches. Would have been a really handy tool back in the day just because of how versatile it was. You didn't have to carry a lot of other dies, and it does ratchet. Anyways, hope everybody enjoyed that. If you've got any pointers for me, leave me a comment. If you like the video, leave me a comment. If you have any questions about threading pipe, old school way or new school way, I'd be happy to show you. Alrighty. See you later.